What is going on, you guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be installing the LenSun 90-watt solar panel onto the hood of my Toyota Tacoma. Why would you want one of these, you might be asking? Well, the purpose of the LenSun 90-watt solar panel, it happens to be 90 watts for the Toyota Tacoma. They do come in other wattages. For this purpose, it's going to be for keeping the battery topped off. I have a lot of lights. I have rock lights I run during camp that I don't turn off when the vehicle's off. And if at any point in time you may run into a situation where your battery does die, the LenSun solar panel will actively charge the battery as soon as there's sun hitting it. So in theory, if you run your lights, your ditch lights, any sort of accessories while the vehicle's off and the battery gets drained, as soon as that sun comes up, it's going to start topping off that battery again. The other way that you might be able to use it, in that I will be using it here in the near future, accompanied by the additional product that links directly to, a fridge or a battery, I'm eventually going to run the solar panel directly through the firewall, back through the back seat, and it will plug directly into my GoZero Yeti 500X, which then charges the Set Power fridge. I plan to do another video here coming up in the near future about my extremely long-term review of my Set Power AJ40, but that's something we'll get to in the future. So at any rate, when I got the solar panel, I was super stoked. Came with everything I needed. A lot of the things that came in the box were not provided to some of the others that I saw out there making YouTube videos about. So it's great to hear that LenSun is actually listening to their customers and making those changes. So I got the solar panel outside the truck right now, getting some rays, kind of getting the material a little bit more pliable. I'm gonna go ahead and take step one, clean the hood. Step two, we'll have to apply a vinyl adhesive that comes with the kit itself. And then finally, we're going to mount the solar panel, and I'm gonna try to do this all by myself. So we'll see how we fare. I got my wife upstairs, so if I really need to drag her out here, that's something I'm gonna take advantage of. But hopefully we can take advantage of this beautiful day, the nice weather, and get this solar panel installed here pretty quickly. Stick around. All right, so first things first, like I said, I got the solar panel this is the vinyl. The panel is actually inside the box here, but I got that kind of sitting out so it can, geez, sorry about that, get a little bit more pliable. And then I have a bag of what you might need, a water / soap solution. I got a quick detailer. This is my all-time favorite. You've probably seen it in other videos before. The Meguiar's Quick Wax. I'm gonna use that to kind of clean up the hood. I got what remains of my zip ties, and then assorted instructions, which are actually quite detailed. So I read through them upstairs and made sure that they were sufficient and that I was gonna do this in the correct manner. Full product catalog for those of you who do not have a Tacoma. You can kind of skim through here and see all the models they have. Pretty sweet. I like that it came with that. I got some electrical tape. I'm going to use that to secure the vinyl. And then I just got some gloves from SPC, homies in the control arm world. And then the actual controller module that's going to hook up to the battery and power this bad boy. So super stoked to kind of get this thing together. It should be fairly easy. Of course, whenever I'm filming a video, it takes about twice as long, so bear with me. This is a squeegee to get all the water out of the vinyl. So, and then we got some microfibers. That's about it. So I'm gonna get to cleaning the hood first, and then we'll go from there. All right, so I forgot a few things. Got some rubbing alcohol and a tape measure so I can measure things up. I wasn't gonna do the rubbing alcohol, but I got the hood clean enough. This whole project has always got me thinking. My wife's RAV4 had this vinyl put on years ago, and she always said I couldn't do a vinyl on there. or didn't want me to. That was her thing, but it's kind of gonna give the same kind of effect. So we got this one sitting right there, getting some sun, and then the panel itself back here. So I'm gonna put some of this on, and then we'll kind of get to measuring everything out and making sure everything's where it needs to be. You're gonna add a little bit more. Again, it's really recommended, but I was not going to do it. But we're making progress, and this should hopefully have the adhesive work in our favor a little bit more. Ugh. It's a nice thing about being a tall guy. Ugh. I can get up on here for the most part fairly easily. Now that that's taken care of, I'm going to take this vinyl, remove it, and what I'm going to do, remove it from the box, that is, I taped it on there. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to line the blue tape up with the black, so that when I remove the white and set the black back down, the tape will be basically right where I need it to be. This is actually probably going to be the most challenging part of this install. Getting the solar panel set up and everything hooked up to the battery should take not very long at all, but let's see how far we get right now. That was harder than it probably needed to be, but we're gonna get this lined up perfect on either side. With the color of the truck, it's really hard to see exactly, hold on, the positioning on it. So I'm gonna get up here and kind of eyeball it from here. That looks pretty damn good, not gonna lie. So I might just leave it right there. All right, it's been about 25-30 minutes. I was playing with this for a long time, really just trying to get everything lined up, as you can see. So when I put the black, I'm going to peel this off here in a few minutes, and when I place it back down, I'm going to line it up with these when they're kind of on the paint there. Measure these are all the same, kind of eyeballed those as best I could. Truth is, it's never going to be perfect, but I think I changed it from when I was looking at it from the roof, but I think it's fine. I think it's gonna work out. I can even extend this puppy here. So you guys get the picture. So I'm gonna hopefully put this on with little to no hard time. It is a little windy, which is causing some concern, especially with dust in the air, but hopefully it's not the end of the world. It's warm. This is gonna be super malleable, so hopefully it's gonna be easy to install. Let's get to it. All right, so that's kind of where it's gonna go. Kind of make sure everything's kind of tightened down. And then I just picked up this bottle. So I'm gonna go over and test over here. Yeah, so it's a 2 parts shampoo, 1 parts water mixture. I think for 32 ounces, I did about 3.5 drops of dish soap, shampoo, same thing. So I'm just going to kind of just really generously put this all on here. And I'm kind of doing it in a hurry. It depends on the climate where you're at, but I gotta do both here pretty quick. All right, I don't know how much of that I filmed, but it got a little scary there for a minute. The wind picked up. I hadn't sprayed down the vinyl entirely, so I was a little worried that it did start sticking to itself. And I thought the whole project was gonna come apart, but it came out pretty good. And dare I say, I got 0 bubbles. You can't have, get off my hand. You can't have too little soap. So I think there's a last bubble over there. That's that. And then we're just gonna be mounting the solar panel onto this. I'm gonna wipe this down with some quick wax, get rid of all the soap that kind of dripped everywhere. But that was for sure the hardest part. They come with these little squeegees, which is really nice of LenSun to provide. I don't know if that's something they didn't have before, but super nice. Install was a breeze, no pun intended. There was a lot of wind. If it's windy or really cold, do not install this. But since it was hot, the material is pliable. And yeah, I think the only other thing that I would have said is don't do it on a windy day. Gotta clean up some of the crap that blew on here from the wind, but the final step is going to be just placing the solar panel down on the hood and making sure the edges are all clear. I did get, can't see it, tiny little bubbles. Those will come out eventually. There's one up here. Not too worried about it because it's going to be covered, and honestly it looks 99% perfect. So I'm gonna have to take off all the double-sided tape and then very carefully place this on the hood. I also wanted to note, so the way I kind of taped everything up here, I did this was my own design, so to speak, but what a lot of the videos in the past didn't have was 3M tape. They now come with 2 massive rolls. I actually went overboard a little bit, but that saves you like 25, 30 bucks. So super smart of them to do that. And yeah, I'm just gonna be pulling up the sides here just a little bit. And that way when I place it, I can kind of finish it off that way. But yeah, it's looking super good. I just wanted to talk about the tape there for a sec, just because that's such a huge thing. I bought tape and then I returned it. So good job, LenSun. Not too bad. I'm about ready for my EV sticker or solar car sticker, whatever it is. As you saw, I got it in place first try. So now I'm just gonna see if I can't apply a bunch of extra pressure to kind of get this thing really seated. Again, if it's hot out like it is here, I couldn't hold it hurts to hold my hand on there for longer than a few seconds. So that does work in my favor. But yeah, you're not gonna have the same kind of luck working with the vinyl or 3M tape if it's super cold out. I don't also have what a lot of people recommend, and the instructions actually call for it, weight to put on here. As you can see, I don't park in a garage or anything, so I'm just gonna go around and just kind of push down on it once I get things situated for as long as possible. And then again, the sun is gonna cook the 3M onto there pretty good, I hope. All right, honestly super impressed with myself. That's literally not going anywhere. I kind of was sliding back and forth on it on quick detailer, but yeah, for the fact that I just placed it and it just went perfectly into place was just like, oh, you know when you set out to do something and something happens and it takes way longer? This was like the opposite. I anticipated it taking way longer and it just worked. So super stoked on that. Super clean look. I know we're just in the parking lot right now, but now all we have to do is get the wires and the control module set up, find a place in the engine bay for that, and it should literally just be positive, negative, 2 clips, done. A few zip ties at most. So let's get to doing that next. Oh, get myself in the shade here. All right, so solar panel's on, and now I have this wire behind the camera here that I'm gonna wire into the engine bay. I already see where I'm gonna put the controller, and it's a place that a lot of others will put it, which is nice. But it should be pretty straightforward. I went and got a 10 mil, which I'm gonna need for the battery terminal. I think that's pretty much it. I can already see there's some cleanup I can do wiring wise every time I come in here. That ends up being the case. But yeah, so that's all it's gonna be. 2 plugs, positive, negative, and then we'll talk more about the app that it comes with, as well as just the module itself and how to read that. So I started running the wire, and I actually put a little piece of tape there just to hold that cable down for a little bit. And I'm just gonna go ahead and zip tie this all the way across just over to here, and then maybe I'll kind of bunch everything up in a clean way after the fact. But there's really not that much cable, which is nice. So gonna clean it up and then find a place to put the controller, which I think I'm gonna put here somewhere. I think that'll work. I decided I'm gonna mount it right here. And if you can see here, I only put one thing of sticky tape, but there's this little lip on the edge of this. And where that's gonna go is gonna fit right under this rubber piece here. So that's gonna provide some support while the rest of it sticks to the bottom here. If it falls, it's not going anywhere, but I like the idea of utilizing this so it has some rigidity to it. So go ahead and peel back that 3M. And let's see if we can get this first try. You know what? Changed my mind. I'm gonna put it back here. A few drawbacks to where I put it. One, the battery lights on the bottom side are over here, so you kind of got to lean over and look at them. I don't see that as being the end of the world for multiple reasons, but yeah, it fits well there. I'm probably going to remove it here soon, maybe find a better place for it, but for the time being, I think that's like the cleanest way or place to put it. So I'm going to grab my positive and negative here, throw them on the battery, clip everything in, and then we'll talk more about what we're looking at here. All right, so another little hack for you here. I took the excess, I put the negative on this bolt here, and I'm taking the excess actually and stuffing it into this side rail. There's so many other wires in here, but I don't really mind because it looks super duper clean. So it's kind of like unused space, if you ask me. So kind of tuck that in there as best you can until the wire like wants to hang out a little bit. I understand that, but I think for the most part we can get it pretty far up in there. Cool. And now we just got to do positive, and I have not decided how I'm going to do that yet. All right, so I almost got everything kind of back together. I ran out of zip ties. I don't think I have any more wiring loom in the house. So I am just kind of doing a temporary fix for the red wire. But you can see I kind of cleaned it up a little bit. It's just coming out of here. That works. We hooked up the MTTP module, whichever one that is, to the solar panel, and I just kind of let these sit here What I am going to do is cut these zip ties back so it's a little bit more cleaned up from that end, because that we can't just leave. But yeah, let me show you what the lights look like here. All right, so I couldn't help myself. I did loom this a little bit here, cleaned it up, tucked everything back in there, did the best I could over there. I'll probably do a little bit more later, but everything is connected and the lights are flashing. I got the directions over here to kind of tell me what's what. I'm gonna stick the camera down here so you guys can see, and I'll kind of explain what we're looking at. All right, so let's see. LED status. Yellow LED on means battery is normal. Green on solar panel is correctly connected but not charging. Flash fast MPPT charging. So that means that this battery is currently charging. And then there's red for work normal. On output is 0. So I think this is optimal. This is what you want to see. You want to see the yellow light on, which means the battery is normal, and the green light charging the module itself. So yeah, it's kind of tucked back there, but it's gonna do the trick. I think that's a good place for it. Can't think of anywhere else unless I actually bolt it to the side here in some way. So yeah. There we have it, you guys. So that was the install, or my sketchy driveway install, of the LenSun Solar 90 watt MPPT controlled solar panel for the 3rd gen Toyota Tacoma. I got really lucky with some of the install parts, and then I got really unlucky with the wind and some debris in the air on other parts. But overall, it came out super good. I'm already noticing now that I'm talking a lot more excitedly now that I've got the project done, because I was sitting out here in the parking lot baking on the blacktop installing this for the last 2 hours while making this video. So it was a little bit draining. I got myself a refreshment, and all things are good now. Huge thanks to LenSun for sending this product out to me to test. I'm super excited to put it to good use. I already know that I will be ordering the adapter, which instead of hooking up to the car battery, like I said at the beginning, will come through the firewall, plug into my battery unit from Goal Zero, and then that will plug directly into the fridge. So as opposed to what I used to do is, if I was driving, I'd plug the fridge into the 12 volt, and then when I parked somewhere or was camping, I'd remove that and plug it into the Goal Zero. This way, you will always have constant power. Either the battery isn't going to die if you plug it into the battery. Who knows how long that'll last. My last battery lasted me like 5 years. So hoping this is going to do a lot of good for that battery. And then secondly, if you ever are at camp and it's sunny and nice, which hopefully it is, then you don't have to worry about draining that battery that comes into, you know, when it comes to batteries, it's always just like a complicated thing. You're always making sure you have enough, and then you have to charge it, and you have to turn your car on. There's lots of different ways that, at least for me, I've come to kind of navigate, because I didn't install like a solar panel on the roof and then install like a red arc system. I wanted to keep it super duper simple, and I think this is going to accomplish just that. So if you're looking for a solar panel for your vehicle, like I said, LenSun makes a whole bunch of them for a bunch of different vehicles. I'll link down to their website here. You guys can go check them out. I think it's a really cool brand. Like I said, they're doing a lot of listening to their customers by providing extra, you know, double-sided tape and squeegees and things like that that used to not come in the kits, and the kits just used to be the solar panel, and you'd have to go source a squeegee and source double-sided tape. And I don't even know if they had the vinyl in the past, which, you know, as challenging as it was for me, it wasn't that hard, but I wouldn't want to put just double-sided tape on top of my vehicle. So it's really nice that they provide that. At any rate, we're going to be continuing the trend here of kind of posting once a week for the last 6 weeks. I think it's like we've been doing a pretty good job. So I know this is a really long outro. Appreciate you watching the video. Get subscribed if you're not. Trying to make videos here every week, every 2 weeks. Leave a comment down below. I will be sure to engage with you all. Give this video a like, bare minimum. And until next time, enjoy the ride.